The relentless African sun beats down upon a landscape fractured by months of agonizing drought. Rising heat waves distort the horizon, turning the open savannah into a suffocating, breathless furnace. Every remaining waterhole has evaporated into a cracked graveyard of desperate, dying biological matter. In this desperate arena of dust, survival is no longer a given choice for anyone. Life here requires a daily transaction paid exclusively in the hard currency of blood. Materializing from the shadows of a withered acacia tree, a female leopard surveys the wasteland. Her lean body is a masterpiece of evolution, but hunger now threatens her sovereign rule. Hidden nearby in a rocky kopje, two vulnerable cubs depend entirely on her hunting success. Maternal instinct overrides her own exhaustion, driving her forth into the blinding afternoon glare. To save her lineage, she must secure an immediate injection of rich life-sustaining calories. Movement along a dry riverbed instantly catches her incredibly sharp, highly specialized predatory vision. A lone warthog is digging relentlessly into the hard earth, searching for hidden roots. This is no helpless target, but rather a dangerous, low-slung machine of pure muscle. Armed with razor-sharp tusks, the warthog possesses the power to inflict lethal counterattacks. A single mistake during this encounter could result in severe injury or sudden death. The leopard instantly freezes, the mottled coat blending perfectly into the surrounding parched vegetation. She must carefully calculate the exact biological physics of distance, wind direction, and structural cover. The warthog relies on a keen sense of smell to detect approaching woodland predators. Therefore, the patient big cat must advance strictly downwind, keeping her profile completely flat. Every single muscle in her powerful shoulders undergoes a slow, deliberate contraction of tension. She places each soft paw with extreme precision, avoiding dry leaves and snapping twigs. The desert air remains entirely still, hanging heavy over this unfolding, silent tactical chess match. The warthog continues its frantic digging, unaware that the shadow of death is closing. For a predator, an unsuccessful hunt represents a massive, irreversible waste of metabolic energy. For the grazing prey, failure simply means the absolute termination of its biological existence. This asymmetrical evolutionary pressure creates the ultimate survival tension on the sun-bleached savannah floor. The distance between the two animals is now shrinking with every passing, agonizing second. The hunt enters a critical phase where even the slightest sound will shatter everything. 30 meters of open dry grass still separate the elegant stalker from her dangerous target. The leopard drops her belly completely to the earth, sliding forward like a golden fluid. Her luminous yellow eyes remain locked on the thick, unprotected neck of the foraging animal. The warthog stops digging, suddenly lifting its head to sniff the baking midday air currents. Absolute stillness envelops the African plain as both creatures momentarily turn into living statues. The leopard holds her breath, waiting patiently for the prey to lower its guard again. Satisfied that no immediate danger is near, the warthog resumes its frantic searching behavior. This is the precise psychological moment the feline predator has been waiting to exploit. She rapidly closes the remaining gap, her paws moving with an impossible, ghostly quietness. 10 meters remain. The ultimate threshold, where stealth must transition into pure explosive power. Her hind legs compress like coiled steel springs, loaded with intense kinetic energy reserves. The warthog senses a sudden atmospheric shift, its tail jerking upright in immediate alarm. It turns quickly to face the hidden threat, but the spatial trap has already closed. There is no more time for calculation, only the raw execution of predatory instinct. The entire savannah seems to hold its collective breath for one brief, suspended instant. A sudden gust of wind sweeps across the plain, masking the final terrifying sound. Coils of muscle release. The leopard launches her body forward, crossing the distance in a fraction of a second. Squealing in absolute terror, the warthog spins violently to deploy its lethal tusk armor. They collide with massive force, tumbling together in a chaotic cloud of choking dust. Razor-sharp tusks slash through the empty air as claws desperately seek a firm grip. With supreme athletic precision, the leopard locks her jaws around the prey's thick throat. The violent thrashing slowly subsides as the crushing, suffocating hold performs its grim, necessary task. Gasping for air, the armored beast finally yields to the superior strategy of the predator. The desperate struggle leaves both animals utterly exhausted on the baking African savanna floor. Trembling violently from intense physical exertion, the victorious mother maintains her tight, iron grip. She cannot afford to release the target prematurely and risk a dangerous final retaliation. Silence returns to the parched riverbed, broken only by the heavy panting of the cat. This highly successful hunt has completely drained her remaining physical reserves, leaving her vulnerable. Other opportunists, like lurking hyenas or lions, could easily detect the scent of fresh meat. Therefore, the exhausted mother must move the heavy carcass into a secure hiding spot. Summoning her remaining strength, she drags the substantial prize toward a nearby safe haven. Hoisting a heavy warthog up a vertical tree trunk requires immense, highly specialized anatomical power. Step by painstaking step, she lifts the vital food supply far above the ground. Wedged safely in the high branches, the prize is now completely secure from scavengers. Only now does she allow herself a brief moment to rest and recover energy. She licks her paws, cleansing the dust of battle from her magnificent spotted coat. But her work is not yet finished. The ultimate purpose of this hunt awaits. She descends the tree and calls out softly to her hidden, desperately hungry offspring. Emerging from the rocks, the two small cubs greet their mother with vocal excitement. She guides them up into the leafy canopy, safely away from dangerous ground predators. Together, the feline family will consume the hard-earned nourishment that guarantees their immediate future. In the cruel crucible of the dry season, life is sustained only by death. This bloody transaction is the timeless covenant that governs the entire natural wild world. The mother has successfully paid the steep price required to keep her bloodline alive. To Tomorrow will bring brand new environmental challenges, new dangers, and more extreme survival pressures. But for tonight, the ancient dance of survival continues under the silent African stars. The punishing midday sun reaches its absolute zenith, turning the Kalahari into a blinding white furnace. Waves of distorted heat rise continuously from the baked earth, creating deceptive optical illusions everywhere. Perched atop a dead acacia branch, the lone sentinel remains completely frozen against the sky. Its slender silhouette cuts sharply through the shimmering horizon, defying the crushing weight of the atmosphere. Beneath this watchful guardian, the underground tunnels provide a temporary sanctuary from the lethal heatwave. But true safety is an illusion without the constant protection of this highly sophisticated radar. Every single breath is a calculated expenditure of precious, irreplaceable moisture within the arid desert. The Sentinel must process massive amounts of environmental data while enduring 90-degree ground temperatures. Black patches around its dark eyes absorb the blinding glare, optimizing visual clarity across distances. This biological adaptation allows the tiny mammal to scan the clouds without blinding its vision. A sudden gust of wind sweeps across the plain, carrying choking dust and burning debris. The meerkat does not flinch, maintaining its upright posture with remarkable, unbroken structural discipline. Its ears fold tightly backward to prevent fine desert sand from entering the delicate canals. Every sense is fine-tuned to detect the slightest anomaly in this vast, silent ocean of grass. The survival of the entire subterranean clan rests entirely upon this single, unyielding biological watchtower. Deep inside the labyrinth below, family members rely completely on the silence of the sentinel. An absence of warning calls means they can dig safely for deeply buried insect prey. Therefore, the scout bears the psychological burden of the entire cooperative community on its shoulders. This asymmetrical division of labor is a highly evolved strategy for conquering an unforgiving terrain. As the afternoon progresses, the environmental pressure amplifies, demanding even greater levels of concentration. The meerkat shifts its weight slightly, balancing carefully on its strong, tripod-like tail structure. This specialized anatomy minimizes the muscular energy required to maintain an elevated vantage point. Even a minor expenditure of caloric energy carries a heavy consequence in this desolate wasteland. Water cannot be wasted on unnecessary movement, forcing the creature into a state of stillness. Its heart rate fluctuates rhythmically, adjusting to the extreme thermal demands of the open environment. To cool its core, the meerkat exposes its pale, thinly furred underbelly to the air. This clever behavior facilitates rapid heat exchange without sacrificing its critical observational height. The desert sky remains deceptively empty, yet danger always approaches from the blue void above. Shadows cast by passing clouds are analyzed instantly by the meerkat's highly advanced neural network. It must differentiate between a harmless piece of wind-blown debris and a descending aerial threat. A false alarm would waste valuable foraging time for the rest of the hidden clan. Conversely, a single delayed reaction would result in immediate, catastrophic failure for the group. The evolutionary stakes are absolute, leaving zero margin for hesitation or sensory error. For hours, the stoic guard performs its duty, a solitary monument of pure biological vigilance. The intense heat acts like an invisible hammer, constantly battering the creature's physical endurance limits. Dehydration begins to cloud the periphery of its vision, yet the dark eyes remain open. The instinct for self-preservation has been entirely rewritten by the powerful code of cooperative survival. This is not an act of conscious heroism, but a deeply hardwired evolutionary mandate. The individual willingly exposes itself to danger, so that the collective bloodline may continue forward. Across the sun-bleached landscape, the shimmering heat waves threaten to dissolve all physical shapes. Mirage pools of deceptive water appear and vanish, mimicking movement on the distant, flat horizon. The Sentinel filters through these illusions, focusing strictly on tangible variations in the environment. Its nervous system operates at maximum capacity, burning precious glucose to maintain absolute alertness. Tense muscles stand ready to initiate a rapid, synchronized retreat at a moment's notice. The complex underground tunnels feature multiple emergency entrances spread across the dusty terrain. The guard memorizes these spatial coordinates relative to its current exposed position on the branch. This mental mapping ensures a flawless escape route, regardless of where danger might suddenly materialize. Every detail of this defensive behavior has been refined over millions of competitive generations. The Kalahari does not forgive weakness, nor does it offer second chances to the distracted. A quiet stillness settles over the parched landscape, a silence heavy with unspoken environmental tension. The meerkat utters a low, reassuring vocalization, a rhythmic peep that signals continued safety. This auditory tether keeps the foraging family connected to their protector without breaking concentration. It is a continuous stream of vital data, assuring the underworld that the wall stands. For the meerkats, information is the most precious commodity, far more valuable than gold. The ability to see further is what transforms these small creatures into masters of survival. Without this advanced warning system, their fragile bodies would easily succumb to the desert's harshness. The afternoon sun begins its slow, agonizing descent, painting the sky in deep amber hues. But the changing angle of light creates long, deceptive shadows that alter the landscape completely. These shifting silhouettes provide perfect camouflage for any approaching threat hidden within the terrain. The Sentinel must now recalibrate its visual parameters to compensate for the lengthening shadows. Its neck rotates smoothly, tracking the shifting environment with mechanical precision and steady focus. The physical exhaustion of standing exposed for hours now weighs heavily on its small frame. Lactic acid builds up in its slender legs, yet the posture remains completely unyielding. The mental strain of continuous threat assessment is a silent, invisible drain on its energy. Still, the meerkat refuses to abandon its post until a formal replacement arrives below. This strict rotational discipline ensures that the watchtower is never left vacant for long. Soon, another mature member of the clan emerges from the darkness of the burrow. It looks upward, acknowledging the exhausted sentinel with a brief, instinctual flash of mutual recognition. The changing of the guard occurs without a single unnecessary movement or wasted sound. The original lookout descends smoothly, its body finally releasing the intense accumulated physical pressure. It returns briefly to the cooler subterranean depths to lower its elevated body temperature. Even in rest, the animal remains deeply attuned to the sounds of the wilderness above. The underground kingdom functions like a singular, complex organism with many moving cellular parts. Each individual acts as a necessary component, dedicated entirely to the preservation of the whole. Outside, the replacement guardian assumes the identical, rigid posture against the darkening horizon line. The endless cycle of vigilance continues unabated as the desert air begins to cool down. The Kalahari Desert is a master teacher, enforcing its brutal laws with absolute consistency. To survive here, a species must transcend individual desire and embrace a collective reality. The meerkats have answered this environmental challenge by developing an unbreakable, living fortress of awareness. Their defense is not built from stone or thorn, but from pure, unadulterated attention. As twilight approaches, the intense glare of the afternoon finally softens into deep purple twilight. The foraging party safely retreats back into the main entrance of their secure fortress. They carry the vital nutrients gathered during the hours of guaranteed, sentinel-protected peace. The final lookout takes one last, comprehensive sweep of the darkening, barren desert landscape. Satisfied that the immediate environment is secure, it descends into the safety of Earth. the heavy wooden silence of the desert night begins to envelope the arid Kalahari plain. Inside the deep burrow, the family huddles together to conserve precious metabolic body heat. The darkness brings a temporary reprieve from the burning solar radiation of the day. But the lessons of survival remain deeply etched into their shared genetic memory banks. Tomorrow, the blinding sun will rise again, bringing back the exact same lethal pressures. The cracked earth will absorb the heat, and the mirages will dance once more. And once again, a solitary figure will step out to confront the vast emptiness. It will stand tall against the horizon, an enduring symbol of defiance and cooperative strength. In this harsh world, vigilance is not merely a behavior, it is a sacred covenant. The silent wall will hold, guarding the fragile heartbeat of the ancient desert kingdom. For true power belongs not to the largest creature, but to the most watchful. Through absolute discipline, this tiny mammal continues to conquer the most extreme habitat on Earth. Their story is a profound testament to the ultimate evolutionary triumph of shared responsibility. Against the backdrop of infinity, the quiet sentinel stands as an immortal monument to life. The silent guard remains unbroken, anchoring the survival of its lineage within the shifting sands. The relentless sun reaches its absolute zenith, casting a blinding glare across the fractured earth. Residual heat waves ripple upward from the clay, distorting the horizon into a fluid illusion. For the crowned crane, the conclusion of the ritual marks the beginning of internal regulation. Every metabolic process must now shift toward absolute conservation within this unrelenting thermal furnace. Standing motionless amidst the shimmering dust, the bird initiates an intricate system of survival. It opens its slender beak slightly, utilizing rapid gular fluttering to cool its vital organs. Evaporative cooling across the respiratory tract prevents the delicate brain from reaching lethal temperatures. This unseen physiological battle demands precise neurological control to prevent sudden and catastrophic failure. Every single breath is carefully metered against the moisture reserves remaining inside its body. The golden crest atop its head catches the harsh light, radiating excess heat outward. Specialized vascular networks within the scalp allow warm blood to cool before returning downward. This natural radiator operates continuously, shielding the crane from the deadliest hours of daytime. To survive here, an animal must possess hardware perfectly tuned to environmental hostility. The bird shifts its weight, testing the unstable currents of air moving just overhead. High above the baking soil, a slight breeze offers a temporary refuge from radiation. It expands its chest, allowing the moving air to penetrate deep beneath outer feathers. Thermal energy trapped against the skin is lifted away by the cooling convective drafts. It is a delicate dance of physics, played out on the stage of life. The crane cannot afford a single miscalculation while the midday pressure remains so absolute. Every choice carries the heavy weight of survival on this arid, unforgiving African plain. The surrounding landscape offers no shade, forcing the avian monarch to rely on mechanics. Its long legs provide a critical advantage, elevating the torso far above superheated ground. The boundary layer of air directly touching the dirt can reach over 60 degrees. By standing tall, the crane breathes air that is significantly cooler and more tolerable. This anatomical elevation is a simple yet brilliant defense against the tyranny of Earth. Now, hunger begins to exert its own pressure, demanding action despite the extreme heat. Energy expended during the morning dance must be replenished before the arrival of nightfall. The crane takes a slow, deliberate step forward, its keen eyes scanning the ground. Every movement is calculated to minimize friction and prevent the unnecessary burning of calories. It searches for deeply buried seeds that have survived the intense desiccating atmospheric conditions. A single mistake in navigation could lead to exhausting energy reserves with zero reward. The parched grass offers little cover, exposing the solitary searcher to the blazing sky. Yet, the crowned crane moves with an air of unbothered, absolute, and singular confidence. Its evolutionary lineage has prepared it for this exact test of endurance and patience. It detects a slight vibration beneath the surface, indicating a hidden, moisture-rich insect. With surgical precision, the sharp beak strikes downward into the hard, unyielding desert crust. The successful harvest provides a vital drop of moisture and a crucial nutritional reward. This tiny victory fuels the crane's internal engine, allowing it to continue its journey. It walks along the dry riverbed, where ancient clay holds the memory of water. Here, the soil is deeply fractured, creating microclimates where life clings to existence. The crane utilizes these depressions, finding small pockets of slightly cooler ambient air temperatures. It demonstrates an intimate knowledge of the terrain, reading the subtle signs of geography. Survival is not merely about strength, it is a matter of profound environmental literacy. The afternoon progresses slowly, each hour testing the physical limits of the magnificent bird. The wind picks up, carrying fine grains of abrasive sand across the barren landscape. The crane blinks, using a clear nictitating membrane to protect its sensitive, searching eyes. This third eyelid allows for continuous vision while shielding the cornea from airborne debris. Every single part of this creature is designed to withstand the elements without failing. As the dust storm passes, the bird adjusts its posture against the changing air. It aligns its body parallel to the wind, reducing resistance and stabilizing its balance. This aerodynamic adjustment minimizes muscular strain, saving precious energy for the coming hours. The sun begins its slow descent, painting the sky in deep shades of gold. The oppressive weight of the midday heat gradually starts to lift from the savannah. However, the danger of dehydration remains a critical factor until the twilight hours arrive. The crowned crane continues its steady pace, never rushing, never showing signs of panic. Its measured steps are a testament to the power of ancient, deeply ingrained instinct. It stops near a withered acacia tree, the only vertical structure for miles around. The sparse shadow cast by the branches provides a momentary relief from direct sunlight. Here, the bird lowers its wings slightly, allowing maximum airflow around its heated core. The internal temperature begins to stabilize, rewarding the crane for its careful, patient strategy. In this severe wilderness, patience is a weapon as deadly as any predator's claws. The crane looks toward the horizon, sensing the subtle shift in atmospheric pressure waves. The cooling air brings a renewed sense of vitality to the scorched, dusty plains. It prepares for another brief sequence of movement, a final celebration of daytime survival. It spreads its wings once more, the black and white feathers catching evening light. This time, the motion is not an escape from heat, but a statement. It leaps gracefully into the air, executing a single, perfect turn above the grass. The elegance of the movement contrasts sharply with the harshness of the surrounding world. It lands softly on the dry earth, its balance undisturbed by the sudden descent. This final display marks the successful navigation of another brutal, sun-drenched afternoon cycle. The crane has defended its space and maintained its biological integrity against all odds. It stands as a solitary monument of resilience in a world defined by scarcity. As shadows lengthen across the cracked soil, the thermal currents begin to fade away. The intense radiation that ruled the day is replaced by a cool, creeping darkness. The crowned crane adjusts its feathers, locking them tight to preserve its internal warmth. The rapid shift from extreme heat to desert cold requires a new physiological strategy. Its body quickly adapts, demonstrating the remarkable versatility of its highly evolved biological systems. Every breath slows down, entering a rhythm designed to sustain life through the night. The bird looks up at the vast sky, where the first stars appear. It has transformed the harsh pressures of the environment into a showcase of mastery. The savannah may be an anvil, but the crowned crane is the hardened steel. It walks toward its nocturnal roost, a safe vantage point above the cold ground. Each step is taken with the same dignity that defined its daytime behavioral patterns. The crown of gold shines faintly in the twilight, a symbol of enduring majesty. Nature has tested this creature with fire and dust, yet it remains completely unbroken. Its survival is not a matter of luck, but a triumph of design. The sun will rise to scorch the earth and challenge every living creature here. But the crowned crane will be ready, armed with the power of its instinct. It will dance again, translating the extreme heat into a beautiful display of balance. For now, the silent savannah rests, enveloping the elegant survivor in its cool embrace. The landscape is quiet, yet the echo of its pride still fills the air. This is the true meaning of adaptation, written in the language of the wild. A perfect harmony achieved between a ruthless environment and a magnificent, resilient living form. The night deepens, sealing the story of a perfect triumph over the open furnace. The ultimate dancer of the desert rests, secure within the sanctuary of its instinct. Tomorrow, the crown will shine again, ruling the burning plains with timeless, effortless grace.